Right, so that's recording now. Okay.
Okay.
Right, so what you've got is master switch 12 volts there.
Yep.
So that switches your 12 volts on. That's just menu buttons. That's your water pump.
Yep.
That's your master switch for your main lights.
Yep.
That's the master switch for the dimmable lights, which are the ones across the top of the lockers. And that one is your warning light. Okay, to wake the screen up, I can just wave at it.
Oh, right.
And then it doesn't make that noise normally. That's the compressor at the back of the shed. Okay, so as I said, master switch, water pump. So your master switch for your main lights. Okay, so you can switch them all off at that point there.
Yeah.
Well, that's your main lights, not the dimmable lights. If I press the dimmable light one, that's just switched them off.
Yeah.
You'll see on the screen now it's come up with dimmer level.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're searching up and down to try and find dimmer level.
Yeah.
If you want to manually, all you do is the button, the arrow is pointing towards the screen. You press that, you can see it going up in 5% increments now. Okay, so that's 100%. So that your dimmable lights now are 100% above the locker. If I press it again, it'll drop down to 5. You'll see the dims. It dims down to that. So you can set the level, whatever you want to set it to. 55 or whatever. Okay.
Yep.
What's also shown on the screen is your voltage that your battery's that's coming through the charger at the moment. So the charger is pushing through, so it's 14.2 volts. Normally your batteries run about 12.5, obviously in good condition. That's to say your laser battery is connected. That flash of a lightning there, that's to say your electric is connected.
Yep.
That camera gets a bit heavy after a while. And then obviously clock. Okay, if I press up and down on the menus, you can see other things. So heating settings. If you decided you want to use an app to operate your heating, for example, you need to change the heating settings. So to do that, press the arrow again towards the screen. At the moment it says control manual. So that you're controlling the heating from here.
Right.
Okay, if you want to change it or operate it elsewhere, so if you're not, you can control it from a timer on this control panel, or if you've got the app on your phone, you can control it via the app.
Right.
But at the moment, obviously we're controlling manual, so I'll just put it back to manual, and you just exit. Okay, laser charging, as I said, there's no vehicle battery attached, so it would pick up the voltage on that if there was a vehicle there. Solar power. Okay, obviously got a solar panel on the roof showing you how much voltage is coming in at the moment. Select battery. So if battery was, or if your car was attached still on the pitch, you could actually select the battery from the car if you wanted to. It's probably not a good idea. You go and flat the battery, obviously you're in trouble. What we've also got is AC limit. So what you can do is set a limit for the electric. Obviously the bollard that you plug into on site is limited to how much electric it will give you. So normally it's around about 16 amp. It could be a bit less than that. Usually it's on average on the club sites they tend to be 16 amp. If you overdo that, so if you've switched a lot of electrical stuff on,
Yeah.
a kettle, a hairdryer, all them extra high energy,
Yeah.
it can trip the bollard.
Right.
What you can do with this is set a limit, so you can go as low as 5 amps. So something like on the Continent,
Yeah.
it might be useful.
Yeah.
They're quite low normally, so you can set that all the way up to 16 amp if you want, or off. That little icon in the top right hand corner of the screen now, that's to say it's unlocked.
Right.
So in the centre, it's showing what we're actually using at the moment, which is about 2.3 amps.
Right, just run me past that again, to how to...
How to change it?
yeah.
Yeah, so you just put the one that's arrow towards the screen,
Right.
so that's off, press it again. It's 5, 6, 7, 8, yeah, wherever you want to set it.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you have set it, what it will do is if you say you switch the kettle on,
Yeah.
electric kettle,
Yeah.
obviously it just takes it above the limit.
Yeah.
You might have other things switched on like the heating, which could be up to 3 kilowatts. What it will start doing is knocking down the power on your heating.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
Until, say, something like the kettle switches back off again, and it allows the electric to come back on the heating. Okay? If you go and switch a load of electric on all in one go,
Yeah.
it probably will still trip the bollard anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
How did you get onto there again?
So what, to find AC limit, or
Yeah.
so you just scroll up and down until you find it. So you just you just go all the way, if you want to, just go all the way around.
Oh, right. So you just keep pressing
Yeah, so it
those
just goes
buttons.
round and round and round.
Okay.
So all it go the other way. Okay.
Yeah.
So back to dimmer level then.
So it's up and down on the menu, is it? Up and down?
Yeah,
And the
so that's- you're
one
scrolling
in
around
the
to
middle
find
is
it.
voltage.
Yeah, that's it. So system settings. That's your. So where were we? So we've done that. Internal temperature. You will see the temperature will be slightly different on that control panel compared to that. Thermostat for that is there for the actual heating system itself. The actual van, it's actually in a different place. That's why it's showing different temperature.
Right.
Dimmer level, heating system settings. So if you want to change anything like the clock,
Yeah.
You can change it via the system settings. Again, press the arrow towards the screen, so you can set the hour, again by pressing that. It will scroll all the way round.
Yeah.
Okay, it won't go backwards, you have to go forwards with it.
Right.
Same with so your minute,
Yeah.
your day,
Yeah.
just choosing it, yeah. Date, month, year. You can also switch the key beep off, so every time you press it goes beep. You can switch that off if it annoys you. Backlight time, so that screen there will go to sleep after 30 seconds. You can change the timing on that if you wanted to.
Okay.
Same with the LEDs, so these LEDs here, they will go to sleep at the same period of time if you wanted to. Tank alarms off because you haven't got a tank. Okay, so these control panels will do everything that Swift do. So it goes from the smallest caravan up to the biggest motorhome. Bluetooth pair, so if you do decide to connect your phone to it via the app, you can connect it via Bluetooth. What you can also do, once you've registered, you can actually control it remotely as well via the internet. Okay. Then Bluetooth delete, so if you've got so many devices on there you want to add another one, obviously you need to delete them to be allow you to add another one. Okay, then exit settings, so that's more or less what all you've got there. Okay, so you just scroll round and round and round until you find which one you want.
Okay.
Alright, happy with that?
Yep.
Yeah, good.
Reasonably.
Good. So we'll go for the heating next then.
Okay.
So the heating, I think, is a lot easier than the last one, because I know a lot of people do get confused with that.
Well,
The old
we-
Aldi panel is
We didn't get it. We
it
didn't
is a bit
get
of a
it.
headache, but this
Well,
one
it
is a lot easier. A lot easier, I'll tell you that now.
Right.
But I know I do it every day, but stupid compressor. Right. So on our switch is that one there.
Yep.
So you just switch it on.
What
or
difference does that make? That's not heating on or off, it's just panel on or off.
off. No, that is switching the whole system off, as in heating the boiler. So that's switching the boiler off.
Right.
Okay, if the boiler's not switched on, you get no heating, you get no hot water.
Right.
So that needs to be on. See
Right.
green light in there, that's to say it's okay.
Right.
What we're showing on the screen at the moment, that is to say electric's connected. I'll show you the button for that in a minute. That's showing room temperature. If I just increase the room temperature, or the thermostat above the room temperature. We do it, there we go. So that, you may remember that from your last system, or not.
No.
That is the circulation pump for your central heating.
Right.
Okay, if that's there, that means the heating is being circulated around your van.
Right.
If it's not there, and the heating isn't being circulated around your van. Okay?
Okay.
Right.
If you don't want the heating running, but you still want the hot water, all you do is just bring the temperature lower. So if the thermostat's lower than the
Lower
room,
than
the
the
room
room,
temperature, you just
yeah.
hear it click off then.
Yeah.
So that's heating off now.
Yeah.
Okay? Until, if the temperature drops to 17.5,
Yeah. It'll come
then
back on.
it'll come back on again. Okay? What I'll do, I'll just increase that back up again. Right, so, there we go, it's on. Right. Next one is water heating. So on your previous fan, you couldn't switch your water heating on, off even. If you had that system on, it was on all the time. Okay, with this one you can actually switch it off. To switch it on, just press the plus button, goes green, half a triangle coloured in. That's just your normal running for your water heating.
Yeah.
Okay?
Right.
What you can do is boost it, which you would have been able to do on your last one. Just press the plus button again, full triangle coloured in now. That's now concentrating all the heating on the boiler now for the water.
Right.
Okay?
Electric?
It depends what you've set. At the moment it's just on gas at the moment, but I'll show you that in a second. It can be electrical, gas or both.
Right.
Okay, so what it's done now, oh, it should have done. Hang on, let me just have a look at setting. That's it, it's gone off. So, with the boiler set to boost, what it will do is switch the heating off. Okay, so the heating's gone off now. Even though my temperature I've set is above that,
Yeah.
Right.
it's off.
Right.
If after 30 minutes of boost time, it will revert back to normal running, or you can switch it back manually. Then it should allow the heating to come back on. Okay, obviously long it's within the temperature range. Okay. Next one. So that's both energies off at the moment. So you've got options of 1, 2 or 3 kilowatts. So
Right.
that's your electric side of it,
Right.
or gas. So that's gas on. Okay, so at the moment I'm running on both energies now. Okay.
Right.
Right, the reason why we might want to do that, so if you imagine, say we're just on, say,
There's no tank of water in here, is there?
there's a hot water tank. There's not a fresh water tank.
Right.
It's just a hot water tank.
Right. How much does that hold? Just off the top of your head.
About 10 litres.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So, if you imagine now we're in the summer, that boiler there is more like you're just going to want hot water. You're not really needing much heating in the room. 2 kilowatts is efficient enough to do that. Okay. In the winter, obviously 2 kilowatts is not a huge amount of energy. If you imagine at home, if you've got an electric kettle, that could be 2 kilowatts, and that's just trying to heat up what 2 or 3 litres of water. So you imagine that it's not trying to heat the whole kitchen as well at the same time, is it? So that amount of energy
Yeah.
is just enough to, probably sufficient enough to heat your water. So in the winter, you may want to, you might try it on 3 kilowatts. It might give you enough heat in the room, or options of both. So if you use electric and gas, so you're going away in the winter time when it's really cold, electric and gas might be more, or it definitely will give you more energy, more heat. And what it will do is use both energies from cold, get up to temperature, and then it'll shut the gas off, and it'll tick over on electric then, until someone like myself leaves the door wide open, temperature drops, gas will kick back in again alongside the electric, bring it back up to temperature, and again,
That's the heating now.
yeah,
So,
that's heating. The boiler, yeah. So that's more or less heating. Or you've used all the hot water.
Yeah.
So if you use all the hot water, it's obviously topped up with cold water. It needs that extra energy just to boost it back up again.
Right.
If you're trying to run both at the same time, obviously when you first get into your van, obviously it's going to struggle to give you both all together. So you could either switch your water heating off and concentrate on just getting the van warm, or do it the other way around. Okay,
Right, so
happy with that?
just turn it off, the whole thing off now. Will that go quiet, or
Yeah. If you turn it off, if you want to just turn the whole thing off,
Yeah.
that's it. That's off.
so we'll start from the beginning then?
Yeah. So
Just,
you just
very quickly do it once more.
Yeah, you just switch it on. It probably remember what you had it set to. So there we go.
So
So
the pump's on, we know at the moment.
yeah, so circulation heating is on. That's because I've set it
If
to
I want to
22.
turn that off,
So if
I
you want,
just drop that temperature.
Lower than the
Yeah.
19.5.
yeah, that's it. You just press that. Just you have to keep pressing it. So once
If
it's
I-
low at
if I
van,
drop that down to
Yeah.
15 degrees,
that's it. Then your circulation pump is gone off. Sorry, the heating won't come on then until it reaches or drops
go
down
drop to
to
15.
yeah. Otherwise, you need to increase
Yeah,
it. If you
okay.
decide it's too cold, you need to increase it.
Right.
Okay.
The water's half on,
Yeah,
using 2 kilowatts.
yeah,
We can take that to 3 or down,
yeah. Or off if you wanted to.
and just run it on gas.
Yeah, you could run it on gas if you wanted to. But
If
a lot of
you-
people, when you're on site, electric tends to comes with the pitch. So that's why a lot of people use electric.
Yeah.
So you only want to use the gas. But in the winter,
So press the plus now for you.
yeah. So that's now we're on 2
Yeah.
kilowatt.
Okay. What's the A for?
Hey, what that is that's other things that have been switched on. Okay, so at the moment it's got activated functions, which is the third-party panel. What that is switched on is communications between that and that. Okay, if you decide to use the app, that has to be switched on because otherwise your app won't communicate with your heating.
Optional pump.
Yeah. So this is something you could have fitted.
So
So-
that doesn't exist. So
No,
forget
no,
about that.
yeah, it doesn't exist.
Load
It's-
monitor.
Low monitor, no, you don't need to worry about them either.
Right.
So most of this, it doesn't really do a lot for you really. That is the main one at the moment, the third party panel. So if you do decide to operate on the app, that needs to be ticked to be switched on. All you do is just tap it, that's off or on.
We'll leave it on. 'cause,
Yeah.
That's,
So if you do decide to use that, that's there.
okay.
Okay. There is other further menu, which you would have had somewhat similar on your last one, but obviously not as easy to see. That one is a nighttime timer, so it's a reduced temperature timer, as it's called.
Yeah.
What you can do is set a lower temperature for overnight. It won't reduce the temperature; it just drop naturally, and then it will maintain it at that temperature overnight over a timer. Then at the end of that time, it will revert back to daytime temperature that you've set. That one there is a 7-day timer. That one there is prioritisation to the energy. So at the moment it's prioritised to electric. So as I said, if you're using both,
Yeah.
it will switch the gas off if it's once it reaches temperature. This one here is to do with the backlight. This one does glow quite nicely at night time. If it disturbs your sleep, you may want to just change it. So you could either reduce the brightness, or you can just set it to dark, which is, as it says on the tin, goes dark. You can see it's still operating because green light's in there.
Yeah, yeah.
Just tap the screen, it just wakes it back up again.
Right, okay.
Or
Turn it back on for us.
yeah, or the other option is invert, which is dark, and you can still see the icons, but otherwise it's what it's called bright. Anything that's grey, that's not connected. So if you had a really large van, you could have 2 thermostats. That one there, obviously, set your clock. Next one there, that's to do with I can't think of it now. Legionnaires' disease in your boiler. So if it's not quite reaching temperatures and it's staying very low temperature all the time, or you're using a lot of hot water, Legionnaires' disease can actually start to form in your hot water tank. If you've got the clock set and that's switched on, what it will do at roughly 2 o'clock in the morning, it will boost the temperature in the water system into the hot water tank. Okay.
Yeah.
Obviously after a few seconds it goes back to main screen. Where were we? That one there, that's to calibrate your thermostat. So if it's slightly offset, you can actually calibrate it via that. That one there, that's to do with every time you press the screen it goes beep, which is not at the moment. That one there is what is called a delayed timer. So say you wanted to your heating to come on at say 5 o'clock on a Friday afternoon.
Yeah.
What you can do is set that, and what it will do is come on at that time, run for 24 hours, then it will switch itself off. And in 7 days time, it'll repeat again. So it'll run for 24 hours. So if you've got your van at home,
Yeah.
and you like, if you're like myself over winter, I have the heating on every now and again just to air it out, and obviously dry it out a little bit. You can use that if you wanted to. Obviously, as long as you're connected to electric, you can obviously power it up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just trying to think what's left.
The timing on the heating.
Yeah.
Do we do that?
There is a timer on there. There's a timer on here. A 7-day timer. Where's it go? I'm on the sunshine one, so you can set it to whatever day. So at the moment it's all from 9 o'clock to 3 o'clock. So you can set that at different days.
Yes.
So if I press set now, you can say day all, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So all the different days if you wanted to. And then the time in 9 till or whatever. So it's the start time is whatever time you want to start it at.
Stop
Okay.
time.
Yeah, so stop time, you change the time on that, and what day you change it at. Okay, then you just set, then it's just switch on or off. With that also, you can actually switch the water heating off over that period of time if you wanted to.
Okay.
So keeping him busy. Right.
But,
And what? Just try to think out. Next one. What you've got? Oh, just gone past that one. That one there is to do with your pump.
Yeah.
So with your pump at the moment, it's thermostatically controlled.
Yeah.
Okay, so it goes off when it reaches temperature.
Yeah.
What you could do is have it on continuous. If you switch it on continuous, you just be on continuous.
Right.
It won't go on and off, on and off. You just go on. You may find that beneficial if it's really cold. And you want it just on continuous. The only thing is, the water is going to suffer because obviously it's taking the heat away from the boiler continuously.
Yeah.
It's not going to get the water temperature you may want. Reset, so that will reset the factory setting. Service, if you're talking to an engineer on the phone, he might ask you to press that. That'll give him an idea of what's happening with the boiler,
Yeah.
as in temperatures. So that what you've got is temperature of the glycol that's going around the van, which is your heating side of it, or your water temperature. So he'll be able to see if it's operating or not. External, obviously you can control it via an app through that system.
Yep.
Obviously this is an individual Aldi system, so you could actually, if you had an extra box fitted, you could actually talk to it individually as well.
We'll forget that.
Yeah, that's it. All these extra things you can have. Language, if you want to talk French or German to it, you can. Then installed accessories, that was what we were going through before with the third-party panel.
Yeah.
Right, we'll forget those.
Okay, so as long as you're happy with this bit here,
That's the main bit.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
the main bit.
Yeah.
What I'll just show you now is where it is to switch the power to it. So on your consumer unit, on your last one, you might have had a switch up here somewhere that said Aldi heater or something like that. This one is that one. So if I switch that off, you have a look up there now, little plug's disappeared.
Yeah.
Yeah, if I switch that on,
So that's just that on off for that unit only.
yeah. So what it is if you don't switch that on, you will not be using your heater on electric. So that's your master switch. If you don't switch it on there, you're not gonna.
How do you leave that normally?
You can leave that on. That's no problem. You're not going to damage anything.
What,
What-
even when you're travelling?
Yeah, because as soon as you unplug electric,
Yeah.
that's it. There's no power going to it.
Right.
Okay, it's only when you've got electric connected to it, that will be on.
Right. Okay.
And if you haven't switched it on there anyway, so it's just a connection from the control panel to there to allow it to use electric.
Right. Okay.
Otherwise, if it's not switched on, you'll still be able to use it on gas. You won't be able to use it on electric.
The green button just shows it's.
That's the charger button. So that's a switch as well. Okay, so that's your charger unit there. As long as you've got electric connected on the outside, that switched on, it will charge your battery. Okay, then, excuse me, we were talking about on the Continent reverse polarity. So what that is an indicator light. So you plug your electrics into theirs. If it come inside, have a look. If that has lit, that means it is reversed. You're going to need an adapter to operate it from.
It won't hurt it. It'll
No,
sort
it won't.
out.
Yeah, it won't damage it, but it won't sort it out. So you need to get an adapter to.
Right.
change
That's
the
the fuse
power.
box there, is it?
Yeah. So what we got? 240 trips. So that's all obviously the electric side of it.
Right.
That side is your 12 volts.
Right.
Okay, so 12 volt fuses. The far one, the white one with a green light against it, that's your charger fuse. Okay, if it's got a green light on it, that's okay, that's fine.
Is there any spare fuses here?
Yeah, there should be some in the pack.
Right.
Also, what you've got is LEDs alongside all these other fuses as well. If they light up, that means that fuse is gone.
That's a good idea.
Okay. Yeah, so that's good for new for this year. It's obviously very important to check that if fuses are going, there must be a reason why that fuse is going. Same with the electric trips. If there's a trip going here, there's an issue. So you need to really get it checked out rather than trying to bang, especially them if you start putting bigger fuses in just so it'll keep you going. Otherwise, it might cause obviously problems. System shutdown button. So with this one, you've got a system shutdown button. So when you're in storage, you don't want the battery to be draining down. Switch that off, and that will protect your battery. If you've got electric connected, you don't need to worry about that anyway. Also, if that is switched off, your solar panel will still provide power to your battery.
Right, so what does that isolate? That isolates the whole caravan other than the battery? Is that what
The
you're
12 volt system, it isolates a 12 volt system so it doesn't drain down your battery.
saying? Right.
Okay. Also, what you've got down here, the yellow lever switch, which is probably something similar you had on your previous van, so that drains your boiler and also drains your tap system. Okay. So the position it's in at the moment obviously stops it from draining. What I tend to do is when on the way home, I get off the pitch first. My wife tends to jump in, opens that up, opens all the taps, and as we're driving home, that bit of movement of the van helps it to drain out.
Yeah.
Okay. You probably have a few people flashing lights at you saying you're leaking water, but that's what normally happens. That's your onboard pump. So that's what's pushing the water around your van and through the pipe works, that is. Okay. Very good. Right, so you're happy with your heating system?